That's what happens when you have an incredibly weak president like Donald Trump right there. More drone and ballistic missile strikes there hitting the Sumy region in Ukraine. Didn't Donald Trump say he was going to set up a trilateral meeting between Zelensky himself and Putin? Oh, that didn't happen. Didn't Donald Trump say that there was going to be a ceasefire or else there would be serious ramifications for Putin? Oh, that didn't happen. Donald Trump just handed Putin the biggest propaganda win in recent Russian history. Didn't Donald Trump promise that there was going to be an agreement that there could be security guarantees, NATO-like security guarantees where European forces and NATO-like forces can go into Ukraine and protect it? Oh, wait, that didn't happen. You mean to tell me that Donald Trump lies about everything? So utterly pathetic. Now, as you see what's going on there in Ukraine and Sumy, we also have a situation where the director of national intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, has just laid off, is just firing 40% of our intelligence officers, handing Putin another victory. Just think about that. 40% of our intelligence officers are now going to be fired. The DNI just gutting its entire staff. Why would we need national intelligence people? I wonder why. And again, this is just so normalized in terms of how corporate media covers this. Well, we the people are pissed. We the people are pissed that things are far less affordable, that our economy is in the dumpster right now, while the Trump regime and corporate news tries to gaslight us like, oh, everything's going great. There's no more inflation. We know that we are suffering. It is obvious what is taking place. This is J.D. Vance and Pete Hegseth leaving Union Station yesterday, which they set up like a command center in Fallujah. Like it looked like they were mapping out a war. You had like Stephen Miller with like his veins popping out of his head. Just watch though J.D. Vance and Pete Hegseth, these total vile clowns, walking out of Union Station to booze. Let these idiots know how you feel about them. Show them zero respect. Here, play this clip. And take a look at Stephen Miller there with zero pocket there. Take a look. Stephen Miller just starts screaming and he's like, wow, we're going after these people. We're going to go and grab them. These 90-year-old hippies, these 90-year-old white hippies. What the hell are you talking about? That's 90-year-old white hippies. Listen to what Miller says. This looks like it's out of truly like idiocracy. Here, play this clip.
So we're going to ignore these stupid white hippies and all need to go home and take a nap because they're all over 90 years old, and we're going to get back to the business of protecting the American people and the citizens of Washington, D.C.
Oh, but if you want to take a look at what's going on in Washington, D.C., let's take a look at some of those old white hippies. Here, play this clip. A hat tip to Amanda Moore for capturing this. Here, play this clip.
Bestie, show your face. Yeah, y'all got like, oh shit.
Proud of your job if you can't show your face.
Show your face, sweetie.
Go out of there.
Show it. Oh, you're a protector. That is shining armor. The fascists unite. Goofy as hell, bro. Goofy as hell.
Then more Stephen Miller yesterday, just freaking out and losing it. What did you think was going to happen, Trump regime? That we, the people, were just going to let your idiotic fascist march just stomp on we, the people? No, we're going to fight back against you idiots. Here, play this clip.
And the voices that you hear out there, those crazy communists, they have no roots. They have no connections to the city. They have no families they're raising in this city. They have no one that they're sending to school in this city. They have no jobs in this city. They have no connections to this community at all. But they're the ones who've been advocating for the 1%, the criminals, the killers, the rapists, the drug dealers. And I'm glad they're here today. Because me, Pete, and the vice president are all going to leave here, and inspired by them, we're going to add thousands more resources to this city to get the criminals and the gang members out of here.
Again, just look at this scene right now. Here, zoom in. You've got J.D. Vance, you've got Hegseth, you've got Stephen Miller with no pocket square, surrounded by military officers in the freaking train station in Washington, D.C. They're not even going to the areas where crime is higher in Washington, D.C. They're going to tourist attractions so they could play G.I. Joe and G.I. Jane. It is so damn weird and dangerous and odd and anti-American, but this is what the Trump regime is all about. And meanwhile, the red cities and red states where crime is actually at its highest, no National Guard there. Well, why would you actually send the National Guard to places where there's real crime? Just do performative displays of fascism. Nothing says Trump like performative displays of fascism. The new Washington Post poll that just came out yesterday says 79% of DC residents oppose Trump's takeover of DC police and the dispatching of National Guard. 80% of Black DC residents, 67% of Hispanic DC residents oppose it, and then over 61% say the biggest threat in Washington, D.C. to public safety is not homicides or crime. It's Donald Trump's Gestapo, as they have these military trucks riding around, disappearing people, beating people. Utterly disgusting. Speaking about utterly disgusting, more fascist tactics from the Trump regime. So Trump installed this lackey, this guy named Bill Pulte, to run an organization called FHFA. And then also he appointed him, which is the Federal Housing and Finance Agency. And then Bill Pulte also appointed himself as the chair of Fannie Mae. So they have access to like mortgage documents there. And what they do is they look through the mortgage documents and they try to find against their political opponents, is there anything that that years ago that they may have said this and it's actually slightly off, whatever it is. They take their political opponents' mortgages. They did this with Senator Schiff. And then they look at him and they go, oh, you've committed mortgage fraud. Then they refer you to the DOJ for prosecution. And then they say that you need to resign and leave. So they did this with one of the governors of the chairman of the Federal Reserve governors. And here's the letter right here that they then send this like special letter where they go after people and say, oh, we're going to do a criminal referral of, anybody who Donald Trump doesn't like. And it was a lady over here, Locke, one of the Governor Locke. And so Trump goes after her. I mean, it's just so utterly despicable. Bill Pulte did that with Schiff. He's doing it with Locke. And it's just a way they weaponize all of these agencies to go after all of their political opponents. I'm just looking at other signs in the economy right now that are causing me concern, just so you know. I mean, as we know, inflation is surging right now. Prices across the board are way up. But just other things too. I mean, like daycare costs right now are entirely unaffordable. Energy costs are becoming entirely unaffordable as well. Between Bitcoin and AI, it's sucking up so much energy, and Donald Trump has destroyed all sources of energy other than like coal. And we need alternative sources of energy right now. But I'll tell you what Donald Trump cares mostly about. Donald Trump. We learned yesterday that Trump bought more than $100 million in bonds since January, corporate bonds, municipal bonds, and things that he has direct say over. So Donald Trump's net worth has now increased by about $4 billion since taking office, because he's literally using the White House as a freaking grift machine right now, shaking down foreign countries and corporations, and then putting his money in places where he knows he's going to benefit as a result of his policies. We need someone who's going to stand up against this conduct by the regime. And I got to give credit to California Governor Gavin Newsom, one of the people standing up to this fascist Trump regime right now. And I got to love these memes that are circulating around right now in these videos. Have you seen stuff like this, like Governor Newsom riding an alligator with machine guns and an American flag? Here, play this clip.
Mission calls this mighty Maine to a California flame. Every cycle breaks, every chain across the land we will reign. Hear the roar, feel the power. This is Newsom's finest hour.
Yeah, that stuff is totally getting under the skin of the Trump regime. Also, Newsom's just daily trolling of Donald Trump. He calls Trump tiny hands, low IQ. He calls JD Vance just dance. And he calls all the Fox host names, and the Fox hosts absolutely hate it. Watch this meltdown. I'm going to do a whole other video on it, so check back in about 90 minutes or so. But watch Hannity's just total meltdown here. Play this clip.
I have a point. Results matter. A new performative, confrontational style. Maybe it wins you points with the loony radical base in your party, but America is not going to vote for that record.
And you know, at this point, Fox and Russian state regime media are basically one and the same. Russian TV, which is Russian state regime media, they're just reposting direct verbatim quotes from Just Dance Vance, where it goes, JD Vance describes the real Vladimir Putin. He's soft-spoken in a certain way. He's very deliberate. He's very carefully. Fundamentally, he's a person who looks out for the interests of Russia. The way MAGAs talk about Putin is, I mean, obviously, way nicer than Zelensky, but like significantly nicer than Democrats. For MAGA Republicans, Democrats are vermin, scum, need to get rid of them. They use Nazi-like language, and it's intentional. But Vladimir Putin, soft-spoken, articulate, interesting. As our editor-in-chief, Ron Filipkowski, writes, Russian state media post the Vance clip because what he is saying is exactly what they want Americans to hear. If you poll Americans right now about their view on this economy, only 38% of Americans approve of Donald Trump's handling of this economy. There are more bankruptcies right now than there was during the pandemic. More companies have gone bankrupt right now. Large, small, medium-sized companies, the most bankruptcies in modern history. That's another worrying data point. The fact that Meta, which is Zuckerberg's company, just did a hiring freeze. Palantir, that AI company stock is down like 20%. I've been saying now over and over again, it feels like we're in this AI bubble taking place. There's this pump and dump market right now that does not feel tethered to the reality of what's actually taking place in our country. And if you look at the economy, the fundamentals are very, very weak. We heard from the Federal Reserve earlier yesterday that an unanchoring of their warnings is occurring. In other words, they've been warning that Trump's tariffs are going to cause massive harm to the economy, and that it could have a material impact on their inflation projections. Well, now it's happening. I think one of the important things just to remind you of is that because Donald Trump tacoed, Trump always chickened out, the true impacts of his disastrous tariffs were not immediately felt. A lot of corporations, they loaded up, they front-loaded inventory in anticipation. That's one thing that took place. But also, Trump kept on pausing. Now the tariffs are in effect, and they are absolutely crushing businesses, both in terms of the cost, because it's a tax on American companies, and also just the overall uncertainty in this climate. Businesses don't know what to do. It's why you have this massive bankruptcy situation taking place, more bankruptcies now since the pandemic. But Donald Trump's posting things like this, just idiotic stuff. Trump goes, any state that has built and relied on windmills and solar for power are seeing record-breaking increases in electricity and energy costs. The scam of the century. We will not approve wind or farmer-destroying solar. The days of stupidity are over in the United States. MAGA is one of the stupidest errors of American history, an era and an error. I mean, having this Trump regime run things, what are we talking about here? The rest of the world is using diversified energy sources, creates jobs. It's needed and necessary based on the energy demand. And America's just going back to coal. Like, what the hell are we even doing here? And a lot of the reasons why we're seeing energy costs surge right now is because Trump is gutting all of the alternative energy sources right now because he doesn't like windmills. He goes, wow, 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 I don't like windmills. Wow, wow, wow. That's weird. That's not okay. We should not be okay with this behavior. We have a madman felon, sexual abuser, criminal running things who's bankrupted most of his companies in the past. He's bankrupted casino after casino. All that stupid crap he attached his name to in the past. Bankrupt, out of business. He's doing it with our country. It should be so obvious. And it pisses me off when there are just weak people who have the resources to call him out, who just let him get away with it. But not here at the MeidasTouch Network. We will continue to call out this crap each and every day. Keep checking back every 90 minutes for new video content here on the MeidasTouch Network. Thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to add the MeidasTouch podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts for new updates every single day.